I feel like the world has, and maybe this is just because I've gotten older, but I feel like the world has accelerated in the last 2 years at a much faster pace than the last 10 or 20. Right. And yeah, on the last 10 or 20, we got social media, we got phones, we got like a whole technological revolution. But AI is like mind blowing to me. Right. And you look at like they're already training GPT-4. The sample size of the data, I saw this picture, I think from Alex Hormozy, right? I don't know what the numbers are, but GPT-3 it's trained on what looks like a pinpoint, right? And so GPT-4 is going to be able to train itself, right? I mean, you know more than I do on what GPT-4 will look like. What do you think the world will look like in 4 years, 5 years?
We're going to see a lot more business owners in the world. I saw a chart on Twitter recently that just showed the number of businesses registered in the US, and then it was just like a flat line, and then you look at the past year and it does this. Like 2021.
Yeah, but how much of those are like PPP scams?
Oh, wait a second. Well,
it's a few, right?
Even still, like, you're starting to see a big movement now. Like people 14, 15, 16, 17 making a full living, making more than their parents sometimes just based off internet businesses. And like, yeah, drop shipping, it wasn't a bubble, but it definitely got to a point where it was a bubble and people were making a lot more money than they can now because Facebook ads were in a different place, right? But even though we'll probably see countermeasures against things that exist right now, it's been put into people's minds that like there are other career paths, there are other ways to make a living that aren't just go to college and just get a job. And I'm not saying, oh, don't get a job, don't go to college. But I am interested to see what the majority of people will be doing for work in 10 years, or at least the majority of people in tech. Because tech is one of those few industries where it's like, you really don't need as much institutional support or upbringing as you do in other fields. I don't want a doctor who didn't go to school. You know, I don't want to be represented by a lawyer who didn't go to school. But I absolutely use products every single day that were built by people that have never stepped foot in a university. So that's interesting.
Well, those are two. Okay, those are the two edge cases. Like we can talk about this. Doctor, for sure. Lawyer, okay, GPT is the biggest enemy to lawyers right now, right? Like the work that lawyers do, a lot of that can be automated. But I see what you're saying about like actual like winning a case in real life. But the doctor thing is legit. Yeah, that is the one that I would say is like, if you want to be a doctor, you have to go to school for that.
Please go to school for that.
No. Please go to school.
Stay away from ChatGPT. Don't cheat on your homework.
Well, okay, even that, like, they shouldn't have to go to undergrad and study like something unrelated to like being a doctor to go to med school. I feel like I think in Europe, in some countries, like you can just go straight to med school, like as a trade school. That would be cool.
The Caribbean, I know some people in the Caribbean. If you need the hookup, reach out. 2 years. No, you don't like this?
No. The Caribbean. No. No, I thought about that in high school. And I was like, maybe I should be a doctor. And then I was like,
did your parents want you to be a doctor?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. That's the dream, right?
That's the dream.
For brown parents.
It is. It is a dream. Yeah.
Now that you're older, do you feel like your relationship with your parents is at a point where you maybe wanted it to be when you were younger?
I would say so. I think I've set boundaries that are better about like